everyone, my name is Jake and I work for the Yorkshire Building Society. I'm here today to talk to you about bills and budgets. Today we're going to be looking at how to budget, from receiving your payslip on payday through to what sort of things you might need to budget for throughout the month, plus how to be really savvy with your spending. Together we'll go through how to understand your payslip, what type of things fall under utilities, and how to manage unforeseen circumstances throughout the month. So during this session, we're going to look at how you might work out your monthly costs and budgeting the rest of your pay. We're going to go through a budget together, and then you will have the opportunity to tweak it based on lifestyle changes we're going to give you. Now, in order to be able to do that, you'll need to understand what the key things are to consider when working out a budget, why we have to account for them, and also what to do with any extra funds left at the end of your budget. Now, before we move on to our budget breakdown, let's have a look at some of the key words. In a moment, some words will appear on your screen. Can you expand on what each of them means? When the words appear, simply pause the video and discuss the words with someone or consider each of them on your own. So welcome back. How did you get on with those words? Now let's have a look at some of them together. So income and expenditure. Income is the money you receive and expenditure is the money you spend. Now budget. That's an estimate of your income, so the money that comes in through a wage, and your expenditure, so what you spend or what is a regular cost that goes out of your account. Credit, that's the ability to borrow money or to access goods or services with the understanding that you'll pay that money back at a later date. Now debt is a sum of money that is owed or due. So outgoing, that's a person's regular spending. Salary, that's a fixed incoming regular payment. Typically it's paid on a monthly basis, but it is often expressed as an annual sum and it's paid by an employer to an employee. Payslip, that's a note given to an employee when they're being paid, detailing the amount of pay that's been given to them, but also any tax and insurance that's being deducted. Utilities, this is something useful or necessary for the running of a home and it's also referred to as a bill. Now we will need to consider these words as we start to look at the next activities. Now, using what you've just learned about utilities, can you take a few moments to think about what some of them might be? Now, here's an example to start you off. One of the most expensive utility bills that people often have to pay is your rent. So how did you get on with those words? Let's have a look at a few examples. Electric, gas, council tax, water, phone, internet. So, now let's look at an example of a payslip in our next activity. Breakdown. Imagine your first job is a marketing role, straight out of A-levels, and each year you get paid £18,000. It's important to understand what your take-home pay is going to be so that you can accurately budget for the rest of the month. To do this, we're going to look at an example of an English payslip to find out what deductions are made before it reaches your bank and why this is the case. If we start at the top of the payslip and we work our way down, first you'll see the name and address of your employer. Moving down is your national insurance number. This code is unique to you and is used in the administration of national insurance contributions. It is also used for some purposes in the UK tax system. Across from the national insurance is the pay month. This refers to the period of time the pay is from. Next is pay method. This is simply how the salary is paid. Most of the time this is directly into your bank account. Moving down to the financials. In the first column we have salary. This is the total amount of pay before deductions. The following two columns give us those deductions, such as PAYE tax, national insurance and pension. Your tax code tells your employer how much to deduct in these areas. After these are taken away, you are left with net pay. This is the amount that you'll receive into your bank account, otherwise known as your take-home salary. You'll notice that this figure is hidden. I want you to pause the video and work out what your net pay would be after everything has been deducted. So, the total net pay is £1,315. You will also notice along the bottom the tax code. Now this indicates which tax group you fall into and therefore how much tax you're going to need to pay. Now that was a lot to take in, but for the next activity we are just going to focus on the net pay and also what we learned in the previous activities about utilities in order to budget for the month ahead. Now we have our net pay. Let's do a quick budget breakdown of what a typical month might look like. Let's take the net pay. In our example, it's £1,315. This is a lot of money to receive in one go. How do you think it's best we break it down? Would you start with your utilities, the things you need to run a house, or would you buy something you want? That's right. It's always important to start with the things you need so that you can make sure you've got enough money to cover them all. So you can use things like your lights and your internet when you get home at the end of the day. Now starting with £1,315, we're going to subtract various different utilities. So £300 for rent, £30 for your phone bill, £15 for the internet, £50 for electric, £15 for water, and £50 council tax. How much do you think that leaves us with? Pause the video if you need time to work it out. That's right, this leaves us with £855. Then we need to take into account other necessary items away from the home, things like food and transport. You'll also need to consider other non-essential things that you pay for monthly, like entertainment and membership fees. Could be £100 for food, £100 for your car, including insurance, road tax and petrol, £22 for Netflix and Spotify, £20 for gym membership. After taking these away, we are left with £613, and that's still a lot of money. Take a moment now to think what you'd buy with that money you have left over. So, would you buy it straight away on payday, or would you wait? Here's a scenario. Imagine your car is just broken down. It's going to cost you £500 to repair, and you need it for work. If you treat yourself to those more expensive items, instead of saving that money, you may have to use a credit card or a loan in order to pay for your car. And if this happens, you're going to be in debt. Now, it's perfectly fine to treat yourself with your hard-earned salary, but it's when you buy these things that matter. It's best to make sure you get to your next payday with enough spare for unforeseen costs. Now, for those more expensive items, you may want to save a little bit of money at the end of each month. Can you think of some examples that you might want to save up for? So, things like holidays, a new car, a new phone, or putting away a deposit so you can move house may require you to save up over a longer period of time. Now, it's a really good idea to consider how much money you need to put away in savings after you get paid each month. A quick activity for you. You want to go away with your friends and the payment is due in 5 months' time. And the trip is going to cost you £600. How much would you need to save each month in order to make sure you can join them? That's right, £120 per month would cover your holiday costs. Now we know what sort of things you need to budget for. Imagine you've got a friend moving in with you. Take a look at the budget breakdown we saw earlier and think about how the costs would change. Would the costs go up or would the costs go down? And how might this impact upon your budget? Now, certain costs which are fixed, like your rent, may be half between the two of you, which is great news as you're going to have to pay less. Other costs, such as electricity, may actually go up because there's going to be two of you using it. But for you, the overall cost may go down because you'll be splitting that bill equally. Now, it's important to understand how factors can affect your monthly outgoings. And this could leave you with more or less at the end of each month. Well done! You've completed bills and budgets and should successfully be able to break down a monthly salary into a budget. Now, thanks for completing the session. We'd love to send you a certificate. So please ask your parent or your carer to email the address which is on screen now. All you need to do is to let us know your name and which topic you've done, and we'll email a certificate straight back to you. Now, we really hope you enjoyed this session. If you'd like to learn more about budgeting or planning a holiday, then please visit the Yorkshire Building Society website, and the address is on the screen now. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.